Hey guys, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. How you doing tonight? I know it's Friday. It's not my usual night to do a live, but I figured I'd come on here tonight anyway and talk about contractors. One of the reasons I want to talk about contractors tonight is that my last video I went on the job site with a contractor, very good contractor by the way. I'm not going to say his name until he gives me permission to do that. But he was just giving some what to look for. Actually, that's the perspective I took of when I got the footage for the video. Little things to look for as when you're renovating or working on a project or something, like that. So check out that last video if you want to see what that's about. It's jam packed with value, even though it's not a long video. But anyway, guys, it got me to asking as well. What should you look for in a good contractor, right? What should you look for in a contractor? Period. To make sure that you don't get fleeced out of your money, right? Because it happens all the time, especially during natural disasters when it's contractor heaven, right? Like places are destroyed and contractors have to come out and they have to pretty much rebuild cities and towns and all of that. Like whether it's a storm or a hurricane or a flood or whatever, they got to come in there and restore the place. So that's the feeding time for contractors to come out. But the thing about that is all kinds of contractors come out, right? Whether they're legit or illegit, everybody's coming to get that money, right? Whether it's government money that that's been allocated to the area or not. Insurance money, everybody's coming out there. You don't know who it is. And it's up to you as a property owner, as a homeowner, if you're going to use a contractor to restore your property, to know what to look for, not just say, oh yeah, I just need a contractor. Because believe me, a lot of people get fleeced. I remember coming up, my family, we dealt with some contractors, and they were pretty, what's the word, unscrupulous, big word for shady, right? So I'm just going to go over some quick things tonight on what to look for when it comes to vetting your contractor. Okay, and you can find this stuff on the internet. I just figured I'd come on here and educate the Calibrate tribe, the audience that I got going on here. All right. So here we go. When it comes to hiring a contractor, okay, it says it's crucial to vet them so you won't have any problems. So let's kind of jump around here to the meat of it. Okay. First of all, you want to know if that contractor has a license. Are they licensed and bonded, right? Do they have the insurance? Okay. So it says when checking a contractor's credentials, you have to look for the documents that make sure that they are upholding the industry standards and legal requirements to do the work that they do, right? Because and of course somebody can forge documents, right? Somebody can make up documents. People do it all the time just to get by, right? And that's just how it is. But it's up to you to at least do your due diligence on making sure that those documents are legal. Call Better Business Bureau or whoever you need to call to make sure that general contractor is legit and they have a number. Okay, they have their general contractor's license number that's in the system. It's active. It's not what do they call it, expired or anything like that. So that at least that they're licensed, right? They're good in that way. Insurance is the next one. Okay, this is very important. Insurance is very important because if something happens on that job site, which could be your home or wherever, you could be held liable. You can be held liable for damages. You can be held liable for accidents. Not just to the subcontractors as well, to the employees, the employees of the contractor, or subcontractors that he may hire out. So you may be held liable if that's not in place. So you want to make sure that you request proof that they have insurance before you start anything. And that has to include liability and workers' compensation coverage. Okay. So once again, that'll protect you from any thing coming back on you, like any potential liabilities that may fall back on you for them not having that. And we all know that construction work is very dangerous work. You got people. I mean, the other day I was on at a site on the project with the contractor that I just spoke of, and I was climbing up a scaffolding just to get to the second floor, and see what was going on. But when you're doing things like that, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I was a kid, and I used to, man, I was a wild kid. I was on the roofs all day. That was one of my favorite places to be, is on the roof. you know, and I used to jump off roofs. As a matter of fact, I was on the roof at school as a little kid. Okay, and I remember falling through a rotten piece of roof. Just, it was me and another guy. We were on top of this cabana style roof, right? Where everybody's sitting and having lunch down, at the bottom, and me and him, being who we were at the time, we were on top of there just doing what we do. And next thing you know, we're falling through the roof. Me and him just crashed right through the roof on top of everybody, and it was crazy. But yeah, so accidents can happen. That's my point. Okay, so you want to make sure that licenses and insurances are in place. Certifications is the next one. You want to make sure that the certifications pretty much tell you that this guy's an expert, right? At least certified at what they do. Okay, so certifications is what you want to look for. I don't know if all general contractors are certified to everything, but if you're a general contractor, I'm sure you're certified in the main tasks, right? The contractor I was just with the other day, he had everything, man. Electrical, plumbing, drywall, all that framing. He had it down pat. Of course, he had his workers with him, but he could do it himself if need be. So yeah, knowing that they're certified, and knowing the fact that they can produce certifications is always a good thing. Okay. Now, what do you think's next, guys? What else is the natural requirement that you would think, right? Proof, like references, right? References. What kind of references do they have? Right. If it's word of mouth from somebody, that's a form of a reference, right? Yeah, previous clients that they have. That's you can go on Yelp or these websites. You got the internet today to look somebody up before you dive headfirst financially into a contract, right? Check them out. Like I said, do your due diligence. Do all you can to vet this person. Not to say that someone can't slip through the cracks, but it's up to you to do your due diligence. So if something does happen, you're not surprised. Okay, or at least you can say to yourself, "Look, I did this." Ask them to produce a portfolio of work. What have they done? If I was a contractor or someone like that, I would have a book, a stack of what I've done. Pictures, everything, or a website, right, showing that what you've done as well. And that's always good. That's always good to have that that proof, right? That physical proof of this is what I've done, and it kind of gives that person a little more confidence to hire you as a contractor, I would think, right? So they should at least have that, something online or something like that. Okay. Okay, next it says obtain a detailed written contract that outlines the project specifics, including the scope of work, the timelines, costs, and materials. Now, this is very important, guys. And it spells it out right there. You want all of that. A prepared contractor, would have that ready for you, right? They would have that ready for you. They would have the timelines, the schedules, cost of materials, everything. And that's how you stay on top of the work, right? That's how you stay on track. So if if they don't show up for 2 weeks, then what happened to the schedule, right? Or, if the costs, at the end of the project, the cost seemed like 50% higher than what it was estimated at first, then you have proof, right? You have written proof that to contest what was going on, or why did it cost this much? And sometimes things do change, right? During a project, they may come across certain areas or certain areas that they didn't expect. They didn't expect certain things to happen, right? They may run across a gas line or something that had to be moved or something like that. Unforeseeables, but that should be factored in anyway into the costs, right? Those variables, those unforeseen circumstances. Warranty information. Request information about warranties for materials and workmanship. Okay, that's another thing a lot of people don't think about, is that you want to make sure when you talk to the contractor that they, they stand by any kind of warranty, right? That if something is messed up in the end or something like that, that you would get your money back, or materials back, or whatever. And an honest contractor will hold hold himself to that, hold himself or herself to that, and make sure that they honor that, honor their warranties and all of that good stuff. Every potential contractor that you hire is required to keep their licenses up to date and on par with local requirements. That's pretty much saying that what I said before. Their licenses are not expired. They know, obviously a good contractor would know how to pull permits if need be, and make work. They would start work before they wouldn't start work before a permit is pulled, right? Because they know, they deal with inspectors all the time. When an inspector comes out and they see that something's not right, they could have you guys tear the whole thing down. Hold on, let me go back over here and see if anybody's there. Okay. All right. Does your contractor respond quickly to text calls or emails? This is pretty, I guess you wouldn't think about this, but when it happens, you can be very upset if it doesn't, if you have someone that does not respond. And of course, they're busy. They can be working on multiple projects at the same time. But if they take 2 or 3 days to get back to you, then that could be a red flag right there, right? Nobody wants to do business with somebody that can't communicate. Communication is the number one thing in any type of partnership, relationship, whether it's a temporary or not. And that can mean the difference between you hiring that contractor back to do more work by him or her being transparent and answering your or attending to your grievances or whatever you have questions you have in a timely fashion, not having you wait so long. And if they, and even if you had to wait, they would at least say, look, I'm sorry it took so long to get back to you. Things like that. It's just little things like that can mean the difference between a good relationship and a bad relationship. It's just common courtesy, common respect in business, and even in your personal life, to be honest. So you want to make sure that they're communicating with you, and all that stuff. And, they don't have to be the most experienced, right? I mean, we talk about experience, but let's just say it's like a fairly new contractor. Maybe you're the first project, or maybe they had maybe one house before you or one project before you. And, how else are they going to get experience if they don't, build up their resume of work, right? Their catalogs. And if you're, you may have empathy for that, or you may not. You may want somebody with more experience, right? So that's up to you to decide. That's a personal thing. But I at the end of the day, if you have something very complex to do, it's not a basic project, you may want a more experienced contractor who's experienced in that particular type of work to get on the job versus someone who's new, right? It's all up to you how you want to deal with that. But, consider the experience of the person, whether you want them to take on the type of project you have or not. Okay. Once again, make sure the timelines that you discuss are, the agreed upon timelines. If there's any potential delays or anything like that, that's going to be discussed beforehand, right? Because potential, right? So a good contractor could see, oh, this could possibly be an issue. So there might be a potential delay in this area. This is the estimated timeline, but there may be a potential, based on what my experience as a contractor, right? Not me, but because I'm not a contractor, but a good contractor would say that, right? Like, okay, based on my experience of dealing with this type of work, maybe a specific, it may take a specific time, more or less. All right, just so you can be prepared, right? Okay, it says clarify if the contractor plans to use subcontractors. Okay, and if so, assess their qualifications and insurance coverage. Yeah, I mean, if you could go hire some people from down the street or whatever, but at subs, and I mean, how would you know, right? But once again, there goes that insurance thing, right? Because those guys have to be insured as well. just to save you any problems later if something happens. Once again, warranties, things like that. Um, okay, so lastly, guys, you want to make sure that you discuss the budget, all the costs, all the line items, everything that has to be done. Because as a contractor, you want to make sure that you as their customer has the budget to handle it as well. So you gotta agree upon all that. Okay, any additional expenses that has to be fleshed out, just in case. And then there's the payment schedule too. They're gonna probably have a payment schedule uh, for you to adhere to as the customer, as the client, and you got to agree upon that as well. So okay, just to avoid, hey, this is litigation. This is litigation nation right here. So you don't want to end up in court over some minor things, and just document everything. Document everything if you can. Records. I mean, I don't want to say that, um, but if you both of you guys agree, it's consensual that you record each other, and you want to have a verbal, some kind of verbal audio of everything, just in case somebody ends up in you guys end up in court. You have proof, right? You have proof of what was agreed upon. I know today a lot of individuals, they have Zoom calls, right? They have Zoom calls with clients, or they use text messages, because that's one way of just automatically recording a transaction, a discussion, a meeting, and that just protects both parties. And that's the way to do it if you want to be professional about it. Yeah. Okay. So if you're really on top of things, you want to make sure that as they're doing their work, that contractor is maintaining a safe work environment, right? It's not bottles of beer laying around, or something that somebody can slip on and fall and hurt themselves. You know what I mean? You may want to inspect the area yourself as a client to make sure that everything looks safe, right? Because at the end of the day, you really don't know somebody's private life and what they're bringing to work. If you smell alcohol on a worker's breath, or somebody seems a little bit inebriated or high or something like that, you want to inform them right away, right? That you don't want that happening on your site, because the potential dangers for that happening is because you got power tools, and you got people climbing on ladders and scaffolds, and all kinds of things. So yeah, it's a very risky environment. So just keep your eyes open for that safe work site. Okay. Now the contractor is like gone a lot, right? They show up in the morning and you don't see them until the next day, or they show up in the middle of the day and you don't see them again. That could be a pretty busy person, right? They maybe they're juggling like 4 or 5 projects at the same time, and you maybe you're not the priority, and that should be something that's, I think, discussed in the beginning, whether you're gonna be the priority or not. And you know see you have to figure out how you're going to deal with that, right? Do you want your contractor to be committed to like a full day's work um, until the end of the contract? If they can't do that, then maybe you don't want that contractor. Okay. All right. I think we discussed pretty much the most of what I wanted to tell you guys about this. Um, Here's another one. This sounds kind of on the, I don't want to say on the petty side, but I think it's very important, right? When you meet someone, you feel them out, and you probably know within a few seconds whether you like this person or not, or you like this person's presence or company. If you have a funny feeling about a contractor, if you're talking to them and they can't, they don't give you eye contact, or you try to suggest certain things to them, but they kind of brush you off, that may be a sign of, of disrespect, or lack of respect. and that just may be a red flag that, you know, this is what you're going to deal with for the next 6 to 8 months, depending on how long the project may take. And so you got to decide, you know, right there, is it worth the hassle? Is it worth the headache to deal with someone like that? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, at least, you know, someone who's trying to get your business, at least fake it, right? At least, you know, give you the common courtesy of giving you the eye contact and all of that. So yeah, it's just little things like that that's not written in a contract, but it's written all over their face. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, just look out for those things, and you know, you should be all right. No guarantees though, but you should, you know, at least you did your job in vetting them as best you could. Okay. All right, guys, I appreciate you coming on. Check you guys out in the replay, and I hope you got some value from this one, guys. Go to calibrate.com. Check out what we got over there for you guys. And while you're there, go ahead and join the email list. And we got some good content coming out on there as well. Okay. All those links are in the description. They're in the bio as well. And I go on phone ring. I got to answer that. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Take care.